Hey guys, this is David. Today I want to unbox and kind of give you my thoughts on an aftermarket CPU cooler. It's the Coolermaster Hyper 212 Evo. You can get them for $25 to $35. A lot better than the stock. They're good for up to 125 degrees heat to get rid of that kind of heat. I hope you enjoy the video. Stay tuned. Thank you. Hey guys, it's David again. Like I said in the intro, today we're going to be looking at the Coolermaster Hyper 212 Evo. I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing here, kind of go through some of the parts that come with it. What is this thing? This thing is a aftermarket CPU cooler. If you're building your computer, you plan on doing any kind of overclocking, I would highly recommend something like this. The stock heat sinks just ain't made for overclocking. If you want a system that runs cooler, runs quieter, I'd definitely recommend it. The one I'm showing you today, it runs somewhere between $25 and $35, so this model ain't real expensive. It is very highly used within the PC building realm, and it does a lot better job than the stock. Like I said, if you're overclocking or if you just want a quieter system, because AMD and Intel both, especially if you wrap up the CPU and really using it hard, the stock heat sinks to keep your CPU cool can and will get very loud. Like I said, this is a cheaper model one, but it's good up to 125 TDP, which is up to 125 degrees on the CPU it can get rid of. So it's good for your everyday use. It's good for mild overclocks. It comes with one fan. You can put two fans on it for push-pull configuration. And some people say if you put it in push-pull like that, you can even run a higher overclock. Well, let's take a look here and let's open up the box and see what we get with the Hyper 212 from Coolermaster, shall we? Dun 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 dun. Looky there, guys. Pretty little white box. There's a picture of the box. That's what you're actually buying. Well, let's get into it and see what we got here. I've used these on several builds. This ain't my first look at these. Just about every build that I do, unless it's a budget restraint, I tried to buy one of these for every build. This is actually going on my personal rig. I ain't going to recommend something to anybody unless I'd use it myself. I don't get paid by Coolermaster for this video. You know, this is my opinion. This is my views. Alright guys, just to throw that out there. They do not pay me to make these videos. Coolermaster don't even know who the hell I am. Just another customer of theirs. Alright. On top, we get a pretty little white box. That's Coolermaster across the top. Ain't that nice? We got a box inside of a box. Let's open up this second box and see what we have, shall we? Haha. First thing on top is your instructions. And guys, on these things, do not throw these away. You will need these definitely to put this thing on your motherboard, to put it on top of your CPU. This thing will fit just about any AMD motherboard CPU combination. It will fit just about any Intel motherboard CPU combination. So all the parts, you will have parts left over on these whenever you use this Hyper 212. Like I said, it fits many different boards. It fits Intel and AMD, guys. You got your warranty information. Everybody gotta have warranty information, right? Even though 98% of it looks like it's in a different language besides English, but hey, you know, it is what it is. And we have some more super absorbent desiccant gel. Hey, don't eat that stuff, guys. don't say it, but most of them say don't eat that. It wouldn't be a good time for you. Looks like we got a couple plastic pieces here. These are to, if, like I said, it comes with one fan. If you want to put another fan for a push-pull configuration, there's your brackets where you can put the second fan on the back side of it. Pretty nice. There we go. We have a sizzle looking type thing. Okay, no matter what socket, motherboard, CPU you have, you will be using this. It's adjustable. It's got three different holes that these things can slide into right there. I don't know if you can see that on the video or not. 2 or 3 of them, depending on which socket you're using. You will definitely use this. This goes through the base, which I'll show you when I pull it out. It goes through the base, sizzles open, and connects to the back plate on your motherboard. I'll get into that a little bit more when I get into the main part of it. And we got screws and more screws. To give you a little tube of thermal paste. You have to have thermal paste, guys, to keep that CPU cool. Okay, you got some little plastic foam pads here for if you put the fan on the other side of it. You have foam pads for the vibration. And like I said, you got a lot more screws here than what you're going to need. You're only going to use certain screws depending on which application you need for your CPU and motherboard. And this here's a little tool that goes on top of these nuts right here. That goes to a Phillips screwdriver so you can tighten them down. Pretty nice they include that. Now that's a different size than what comes with some cases, I believe. I don't think it's the 5mm. It looks a little bit big to be a 5mm. A lot of cases will include something like that for standoffs. So this is a different size. So if you got one that came with your case, it ain't gonna, most likely ain't gonna work for this thing. It might. I can't remember, but I don't think it's a 5mm. And rather than that, the box is empty. That's all that's in the box. So we're going to put the screws and the plastic plates and the paperwork and the do not eat stuff all back in the box. I did keep out the little X bracket because, like I said, I'm going to show you how to put that on your CPU, on the cooler itself, guys. Okay. And then this little thing, there's your back plate. Most of AMD boards come with this, so you won't need it. Intel 2011 comes with a back plate already installed. Like I said, you have to check your installation manual to see what you need, what you don't need, depending on your motherboard and CPU combination that you have. So don't throw that away till you know that you don't need it. Or I'd keep a hold up because you don't know what you're going to do in the future. You may upgrade to a motherboard that don't have the back plate. Okay, you got your common little 120mm Coolermaster fan here, which some people say to change these out. I've always used the ones that came with it. I've never had a problem with them in the last 3 or 4 years. If you're looking at it from inside your computer, from the computer window, your case, it's going to look something like this to you. Let's see here, camera's is backwards. You're going to be seeing this through your side window. It ain't the best looking one out there, but for the price and the performance, I don't think you can quite beat it. Unless you plan on running some major overclocks, you know, then you have to get a liquid cool. But in my opinion, even this thing will outbeat a lot of the all-in-one water coolers. The fan, like this, them little clips that come with it, you just pull these up and your fan will pop off. That makes it nice for when you're installing it. Like I said, I'll show you the little X bracket here in a minute. You have 4 heat pipes that help pull the heat away from your CPU. It brings it up into here, then the fan blows the heat off. You can tell you got a little piece of plastic on the bottom here. This is what sits on top of your CPU. Do not remove that until you get ready to place it on your CPU. The oil and the dirt from your fingers could possibly affect the effectiveness of the cooler. And it's, you know, I mean, it's just a little radiator. If you know anything about working on automobiles, you know, it's just a little common radiator. Actually, it almost looks like something that's almost like a heater core out of a vehicle, pretty much. Just to give you a rough reference. Now these little scissors things I was telling you about, what you're going to do when you install, if you watch the build video, I'm going to have a build video with this thing. I'll show you the proper way. But you slide this through here. Make sure that's in the middle. There's a little notch there in the middle. Once you have it like that, yeah, this is one of these jobs you wish you had 3 hands, but you don't, so you make best do with. And it kind of spreads out like that, and you screw it down into your motherboard, into the back plate. Like I say, it's kind of hard to do without the motherboard and back plate to actually do it with. If you want to see the proper installation of it, be sure to catch my upcoming build video. And just like a car radiator, you know, you don't want to bend the fins on these too much. You do too much bending, you want to straighten them out as much as possible. Try not to handle it any more than necessary, actually, because they are fragile. They will bend, and you know, if you bend the fins on these, it will affect the cooling of the product, and that could be a bad thing, especially if you plan on doing any major overclocking. And of course, to put this thing back on, the fan back on, well, if I get it down here in the right spot, line it up right, you get the fan in the groove on one side, then you just kind of push it together. I still don't have it lined up right. I must be drunk and don't even know it. That's pretty bad, ain't it, guys? There we go. That should be lined up right. Push it into it clicks. Make sure all your things is clicked in, and you will have to remove that fan to install this. Just for the simple fact that once this is through there, them screws that you got to get to, the screws to the motherboard sits underneath the fan. So you will need to take your fan off, most likely, to install this. If you're lucky and you've got extra patience, which I usually don't, you can actually fiddle-faddle around with it and get it with the fan attached, but it's just easier to take the fan off. Like I say, guys, it's a lot better than the stock heat sinks that comes with your CPUs. You know, especially if you plan on doing any overclocking whatsoever, you definitely need to get one. But yeah, guys, like I was saying, that's the Hyper 212 by Coolermaster. It's a very popular little heat sink for CPUs, aftermarket. That's just kind of a common rundown. Depending on which aftermarket cooler you buy, it depends on what hardware's going to come with it. One thing I really like about this one is it's compatible with AMD and Intel. If you buy any other cooler, you're going to have to watch that. Some of them's Intel only, some of them's AMD only. Make sure it fits your motherboard and CPU socket that you're going to be using in your system before buying. This one here, pretty well across the board, it'll go with any of them. That's why I like this one. That's why I recommend it. It's also cheap. It's cheap, but it definitely does the job. You can look up any kind of review on this thing and people praise it. I mean, it's just that good of a heat sink. I hope you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Give me a thumbs down if you disliked it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of my videos. If you want to know when next time I put a video up, hit that subscribe button. Every little bit helps us out, guys. Until next time, you be safe. I'll see you in the next video.